Hello, folks. My name is Detroit Miracle. Yes, and indeed. Well, it has been reported and overstated that Pastor T.D. Jakes was hanging around Puff Daddy. And they even say that Pastor T.D. Jakes' son was also going to those P. Diddy parties. And that is crazy. That is something that's mind-boggling, because you would figure that pastors would tend to their affairs of the church and they would simply stay at home with the wives, watch TV, curl up next to a fireplace and do wholesome stuff and feel wholesome stuff and spread wholesome joy around. You would think that pastors wouldn't be into ritzy popular celebrity parties, but they do when those pastors are celebrities themselves. Yeah, people. Like, technically, Pastor T.D. Jakes is also a very famous celebrity personality. So that would put that pastor in the same category as P. Diddy. Yeah, look at T.D. Jakes' fan base and his membership at his church. Like, they got on-site attendance, or they got website attendance or something like that, where millions and millions of people can tune in on the internet every single Saturday, Sunday, and the rest of the week to watch his sermons, and then they can tithe and offer that way, because only a certain amount of people could cram in his church every week. But his church is a big church, and it could easily house maybe 30,000-40,000 people. But nevertheless, like, he has millions and millions as far as memberships to his ministry, which is something called the Potter's House, something like that, where to make a long story short, the more popular you get, the more famous you get at whatever you do, it still makes you a celebrity. Yeah, people. Like, so T.D. Jakes would be in that community of other famous, popular people, as far as him going to Hollywood parties, events, premieres, festives, and etc. Yeah, he's not like ordinary, normal people because of his popularity. If you dress up like a clown and become famous because of those purposes, where millions of people appreciate you and admire you for putting on that makeup and dressing up like a clown, then you are famous for that very thing. So it doesn't matter how you got to that fame, how you obtained that fame, how you came into that fame. As long as you got that fame, it doesn't matter how or for what reasons that you are famous. Yeah, people. Like, so pastors are just like everybody else. Like, you got poor pastors, you got successful pastors, you got wealthy pastors, you got famous pastors, you got celebrity pastors, and you got all of those things, or all those principles combined into one particular message that reaches various sizes of audiences. Yeah, I watched T.D. Jakes speak before. I watched some of his ministry, and he seems like a very intelligent, biblically minded, decent, fair speaker, motivator, inspirator, and all of those combined with his message, of course, for the sermon. So he seems like he's incredible that way as far as being able to draw a huge following, but he does seem ordinary. Like he's not doing anything like miracle like or like over the top inspiring, like say healing the sick, you know, healing broken bones, healing mental illness, helping people with drug addictions. And I mean, he's not performing miracles like that on TV or in the church. Like, but many others aren't doing the same things either. So you get to what has made somebody famous and popular in the church. You're like thinking that is it possible for somebody to obtain fame and notoriety in the church as far as them being a pastor, bishop, preacher, reverend, or whatever else they call it? Well, it's possible because those like Pastor T.D. Jakes or Bishop T.D. Jakes, I'm assuming it's Pastor Jakes, but the bishop is a more prominent title that they sometimes give the more popular pastors. But anyway, folks, when you're a famous rich person, no matter who you are, what you do, or with regard to whatever field you became famous or popular in, regarding a career, job, occupation, talent, and craft, it doesn't matter what you do as long as like you become that which is immensely popular and famous. There's many different roads to take to fame. There's many categories in which to get famous in. And preachers are also famous. They also became popular. People, it's about faith and hope and devotion and religion. But like, when pastors step in and they assume that they can get closer to God than anyone else, and so the people believe that, and then they go to them, and with the circumstances being what it is, those such speakers, pastors can become immensely famous and popular. And even without them actually like paying everybody's bills, healing people, spreading inspiration and joy through the communities directly, helping the sick, helping the drug addicts of it, helping the disenfranchised, things like that. But I know that's another story, but nevertheless, they should do things like that, those such spiritual messengers of God, but they don't. But nevertheless, they got such a good type of, reputation, method, plan, and course of action that many people are drawn to them because they believe they have all the answers. So in other words, I'm saying with Pastor T.D. Jakes hanging out with Puff Daddy, then it has something to do more with the famous association to other types of branches of the celebrity community. Once you become famous, popular, no matter what you are and what you do, yeah, you could be a bishop, an archduke, a prince, a king, a singer, a sports figure. It doesn't matter what you are as long as you are that which puts you in that select community of famous people. And then they call you up. They'll tell you, come out here. I have a big party, and, you can gain more exposure and more popularity. But, with the preachers, there's certain things you should do and certain things you shouldn't. Meaning as far as when it involves such famous, popular pastors. So you can't like be in the world and be in the word at the same time. And some of those famous pastors forget about that. And it's in the same messages that they preach to you each Sunday and whatever else or whatever other days they preach and pastor to the masses that they do. Yeah. Well, folks, I'd appreciate it if you would give me those likes, comments, and subscribe to me, Detroit Miracle.